Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, I'm not here today. My son is sick and I'm at home taking care of him. I should be back tomorrow. Today, we're going to keep moving on with our rights and amendments. Remember, we're learning about the Bill of Rights, the things the founding fathers wanted listed out, things the government could not take away from the people. Talked about freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to bear arms. Now we're going to move on to something called the rights of the accused. So I want you thinking about tyranny, government abuse. How often is that happening to you? How often do you experience abuse from the government? There's lots of systematic things, but rarely is the government picking you out specifically to go after. All right, so who is at risk of being abused of the government? Well, the people who are most at risk are the people who are being accused of a crime. That's when the government has immense amount of power over you. If you break the law, the government can punish you. Well, that gives them a lot of power. So today we're going to talk about what sort of rights and freedoms you have when being accused of a crime and all the different process you have to go through. It's called due process. It's a list of protections you get, protections from the government when they're accusing you of a crime. The process that you have to go through from they suspecting you of a crime through being arrested and charged, put on trial, and then punished. All right, during that entire process, you have certain rights and freedoms the government must follow. And they all come from our amendments. We'll start with the Fourth Amendment. And this is when they suspect you of a crime. And the Fourth Amendment says that for police to search your property and to search you, they need to have a warrant. Right? They can't just come in and start searching your stuff, going through your house, your car, anything like that. They need a warrant. Now, to get a warrant, they need to go to a judge and explain all the evidence they have against you already, what they suspect you of, and they have to tell the judge what they think they will find and where they're going to look. They don't just get to go wherever they want looking for anything. Right? They have a specific thing and a specific reason for searching. Now, there's limits to this. Right? If you commit a violent crime and then go run into your house, they're not going to stop and be like, "Well, I can't go in." Right? I guess he gets away with it. Right? This is something called probable cause. If they have a good enough reason that they feel like there's a time limit they have to act, they will. Now, they still need to go to the judge and explain why they did what they did. Right? They still have to get a warrant after the fact. And if they don't, if they can't prove this probable cause, then all that evidence gets thrown out. The Fourth Amendment is where we get what we call our right to privacy, is that the government should not be searching our stuff, listening to our phone calls, listening to our emails, going through any of our things. Now, if the police can see it, right, if they're walking by your car and they look in the window and they see something, right, that's not your right to privacy. Right? If you're doing something in your house and they can see it through your window, that does not protect your right to privacy. Right? And if you let a police officer in and it's out in open sight, that does not protect you that's not your right to privacy. So there are limits to the Fourth Amendment, but in theory, police before searching you should have a warrant. Next, we have the Fifth Amendment. Now, this includes a lot of stuff when you're being charged with a crime, right? So they can't just send you to jail. They have to tell you what you are being accused of, right? Which seems pretty simple, but back in the day, they throw you in jail and never tell you why. Right? You can never explain yourself, defend yourself. You're just in jail forever. Right? No self-incrimination, meaning you don't have to talk if you don't want to. Double jeopardy. Double jeopardy is when you can't get accused of the same crime twice. So if you're accused of, murder of someone, they can't keep retrying you over and over and over again until they get it right. They get one chance. If you're found not guilty, that's it. They can't arrest you for that same crime. Now, if you commit the crime again, they can charge you again, but not for the same event. Sixth Amendment is all about your trial. You have the right to a speedy trial. They can't make it take forever, right? There's a reasonable amount of time. You have a jury who decides whether or not you're guilty, not a judge, not someone from the government, average civilians. You have the right to an attorney, someone to defend you. You have the right to cross-examine witnesses and evidence. And so during your trial, you get the right to defend yourself. Seventh Amendment's about civil cases, which are like lawsuits, is that you have the right to have that heard by a jury and not just a judge. Last, we got the Eighth Amendment. After you're found guilty, there will be no cruel and unusual punishment, which is very vague. We've argued about it for 250 years. What does cruel and unusual mean? Well, it probably changes throughout time. We're going to spend a day talking about that later this week. All right. So today, while I'm not there, you are going to be doing an assignment on Schoology. Now, this is a longer assignment, so I'll probably have time to work on it tomorrow as well, but you definitely need to get started today. So I'll have a folder up at the top, April 29th, rights of the accused. So you open up the assignment. Here it is. It has a link to the different amendments you can check to know more about. Your goal today is to be summarizing. So for each of the amendments in some parts, so like Fourth Amendment, summarize what's it about. Summarize double jeopardy, summarize self-incrimination, summarize speedy trial, these different aspects of the amendment. Once you do that, there are links for each of them. You open up this link, it takes you to a site with lots of different clips about the Fourth Amendment, right? About police stops, about stop and frisk laws, talking about privacy, GPS trackers, searches, searching through your electronic data. All right, pick a video you want to watch. They're all, 4 or 5 minutes long. So pick a video that you find most interesting, summarize it over here. You're going to do that for each of these different aspects, except for the Eighth Amendment. We'll talk about that. Now, tomorrow, I'll be back. We can review this stuff and finish this up, but definitely get a good start on it today.